Good news, everyone! I think I've perfected a plague that will destroy all life on Azeroth.
Professor Putricide is the final boss in the Plague Quarters. This boss has 3 phases and 2 transition phases. He also requires 2 tanks, 1 tank for the boss and 1 tank to be the abomination, which I will not dig into too much because it will take another 10 years to explain on how to A-bomb in heroic mode. His main mechanic here are the 2 oozes that he will spawn. The first to spawn is the green ooze, which targets a player and immobilizes him or her until it reaches the target and deals a lot of damage and knocks back players. The damage can be distributed on how many players will stack on a target. The second ooze will be the orange ooze. It will target a player, dealing a damage over time and enlarges his or her size. The player needs to kite the ooze going to the right, then back to the door, making sure that the ooze doesn't catch up to the target because it is an instant raid wipe. For emergencies, paladins need to use their Hand of Protection to the orange target if the orange ooze is too close to reaching the player. During the first phase, everyone should stack under the boss just like in Lord Marogar, until the first set of slime puddles will spawn. The slime puddles is a green puddle that it throws to the ground and will slowly grow up in size, for which this needs to be consumed by the A-bomb using its first ability to gain energy in order to use its second ability to slow down the oozes that will spawn. Furthermore, this will help the A-bomb drink the puddle and at the same time DPS PP and apply mutated slash, which decreases PP's armor but doesn't stack with the warrior's thunder armor. We will need to burn PP until 82 to 83% without using any cooldowns, and wait for the first green ooze to spawn. Everyone should go to their positions as shown in this diagram, and warlocks should cast Curse of Tongues to the green ooze before it casts its ability. Another ability to watch out here is Unbound Plague. It is a damage over time which increases its damage for every tick, but it can be transferred to the nearest player. The plague should be taken out from the healers as much as possible. After killing the ooze, everyone should DPS PP until 80% and we will enter the transition phase.
2 oozes, 1 room. So many delightful possibilities.
During transition phase, each player will either have one of the debuff. For everyone who have ooze variable, they can only damage the green ooze, while those who have gas variable can only damage the orange ooze. This is also the phase where all DPS should use their cooldowns to kill the ooze as fast as possible, and warlocks need to use their Curse of Tongues on the green ooze, while paladins need to prepare their Divine Sacrifice ability when the green ooze reaches its target. Please note the positions are the same as explained earlier.
I don't feel a thing. What? Where'd those come from?
After killing the oozes, we enter phase 2. In this phase, all mechanics still applies but PP gains 2 new abilities. His first new ability is Malleable Goo. It's 3 oozes that he throws which needs to be dodged to avoid DPS loss and or dying. His second ability is Choking Gas Bomb. It's some orange flask which spawns behind PP, which applies a debuff for anyone near it, and after a few seconds it deals a huge amount of damage. Same strategies apply here for mechanics in phase 1. Here is a diagram on where to position and what to watch out for.
Two oozes, 1 room. So many delightful possibilities.
Once we reach 35%, we enter another transition phase, which is the same as the previous one.
Tastes like cherry. Oh, Excuse me.
After which we enter the third phase. In this phase, the Ooze and A-bomb mechanic will disappear, but PP will gain a new ability called Mutated Blade, which he applies to the tanks that deals damage to everyone and heals PP if the debuff is removed or the player with the debuff dies. To combat this, tanks will need to switch if they get 3 stacks, and start using their cooldowns when they get 4 to 5 stacks, which needs to be avoided. Hunters can get 1 stack each by using Distracting Shot then Deterrence, or a third tank will be another option. In summary, PP is all about positioning, especially for the ranged DPS and healers to maximize their damage and healing. And also, PP is a DPS check since you need a lot of DPS to kill the oozes before the other ooze spawns and have enough window period to DPS PP at the same time.
Bad news, everyone. I don't think I'm going to make it.